Hello, love wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Can we start off with the biggest news of the week? The Rats lost! If you've got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey!
The man with the finest beard on this screen.
Canadian men, boys, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
You see, the Rads are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
And listen between two beers.
Hello, love wrestling. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. What are you doing? Why do you always have to insist on doing things like that to try to confuse me? What are you mouthing?
I was mouthing your intro.
Unbelievable.
I was
Unbelievable.
trying to be a
You
part of it.
all know what it is by now. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards. We got Omar, Scott, Dustin, and everyone else hopping in the chat already. Welcome in, y'all. Good to have you in. It's another fun Thursday. We got another big one on tap for all of you this evening.
That might be the quickest you've got on me in show history.
Well, what the hell, bro?
Hey, I think
You know?
at this point, something's going down every intro. We've done this 167 times. This is episode 167.
It's pretty good.
That's
pretty
not
good.
bad.
But usually what happens is I say my first couple lines and then you go, what is it? You tell them. There's no other shenanigans.
I know, but why do the same thing every week? Change it up a little bit.
Because I'm asking you to do the same thing every week. That's why.
But I'm not going to do that ever.
Well, then why?
'Cause
Why do you have to torture me when I'm trying to have a certain decorum about how we do things around here?
I mean,
This ain't a
'cause
freak show.
we didn't discuss a decorum.
This ain't this, you know?
There's no like written decorum in the back
Unbelievable, really.
between Two Beards headquarters. There's
Yeah.
chaos on the wall at all times.
Yeah. How are you, Pluggo?
Just I'm
you alive?
I'm
You've
actually
been dying.
just shocked that Boris didn't show up today.
I know.
I was expecting it because we have a big weekend ahead of us. But
Yeah.
this is like the first day in probably a week. I felt good. I had what the first doctor called a slight possible ear infection. He was like, maybe it's an ear infection. You're just draining. One of your tubes might have a problem, but take this and you'll be fine. So I took it and I was not fine. I was dying. I literally just was like yesterday.
Didn't get better, huh?
Just didn't get better. So I went to the doctor yesterday and this guy was like, oh yeah, here's what's actually wrong with your ear. Here's all this stuff. Take all this stuff and you'll start to feel better in a few days. Now I still have some pressure and a little bit of pain, but I'm not like on my deathbed. I actually got to take like a nap today. It was nice.
Wow.
And I didn't toss and turn. Yeah. Ophelia saying fight. So yeah, we're fighting already because I tried something new on the fly.
Yeah, how often does that work for us when you do that? I'm just
I
asking.
mean, it works for me. I had a good time.
I'm just asking, how often?
I mean, we're mom and dad are fighting, and I like this. I'm assuming this is Boris saying he never got the invite, but you've never needed one. So that's on
No,
you.
it's fair. However, though, we do have a guest that we're going to be bringing on here.
We do have a guest, and we're
we have
fighting in
cool,
front. You better behave.
we are behaving. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you better behave tonight.
We're having a good time here. Are we
Yeah.
not?
I hope so.
Are we not having a good time?
I'm having a good time.
You having a good time?
I mean,
All right.
let's have
The
a
chat
better.
is the chat having a good time?
Yeah, hey, chat. Speaking of which, chat, like always, super chats are always welcome. Get your question or statement read on air, guaranteed. We got a big one. Like I said, before we bring AJ on, let's do it because I did say it. I did mention it. Let's bring it up. Let's promote it now. Let's knock it out.
Yeah.
The West Edmonton
Boom, baby.
Mall is this Saturday at the West Edmonton Mall. That is the only. Rob Van Dam having a meet and greet. Gigi Ray's going to be there. The Voros twins, all your Love Wrestling favorites, will be in attendance wrestling at the West Edmonton Mall. I hear this mall is spectacular. It's like the second biggest mall in North America. This is a big deal, folks. Get your tickets if you're in the West Edmonton area, but it'll be on IWTV as well at some point. I mean, it might be live on IWTV if I'm not mistaken.
True.
So do that.
True. It's true. And Ophelia, you are correct. You have caught me. Yeah. I was wearing a blue shirt earlier on stream, and it was being funny because of a green screen situation. And I said, I'll wear the blue shirt on Beards tonight, but I just never. I'm rocking the. I don't even know what color this is properly.
We don't get green screen JPJ on Beards for some reason.
No, because you can't. You can't.
Yeah,
It's weird. Oh, and we are mistaken, Pluggo. Stop jumping the gun.
It won't be live. You are mistaken. That's why I need you here. I don't know who that is.
So
So
this is the guy that doesn't listen to me. The guy,
what do you mean?
I'm just kidding.
What do you mean?
Listen, we got to bring our guest on, bro. It's time.
Okay. I
It's
had to
time.
promote our wrestling promotion.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
awesome.
The second largest mall in North America. The largest is the Mall of America,
I
but I
heard
think they were made by the same people. I think it's the same peeps.
Maybe. They have
think
a
it
water
is.
park in
I
there.
thought I remember-
too?
I
I
think I
learned a
remember.
lot.
Yeah.
Gigi Ray schooled me up on what's in that mall. It's epic.
There you go. All right, do your thing, Pluggo. Let the people know. We were on the Mark Order
Yeah, we
pod
were
last
last
night.
night.
That was us
Late.
last night on the Mark Order pod.
Yeah, we were playing the parts of Kate Nation show. Thank you for having us, Ryan, on the Mark Order podcast. Hopefully, we get invited back. Look, he's right there saying, "Let's go." So yeah, let's do this. We met this gentleman at SummerSlam weekend,
Sure
and
did.
I said, "We got to have you on the show as soon as you're available." And it worked out this week. But AJ Awesome of the AJ Awesome Show is our guest at this time. You've probably seen him all over the interwebs doing his thing. What's up, AJ?
Not too much. Got home from SummerSlam. Took a very long nap because
Yes.
I couldn't sleep in the car. So ever since then, it's just been carrying on like usual. How have you guys been doing?
We've been doing good. We've been doing good.
So did you leave straight from the SummerSlam and drive home that night?
No, we went home from SummerSlam to the hotel and then drove home the next morning.
The next day.
Scott,
Yeah.
you ain't lying. AJ is awesome.
That is
Yeah,
true.
I
That
did
is
the
true.
same thing. So when I got home the next morning, I played with the wife and kids for a little bit, told them all sorts of tales, and like 2 hours later, I slept for like 12 hours.
Yeah. I mean, it was a hectic weekend.
It was a very hectic
There was
weekend.
there was a lot of things to do. There were a lot of things that happened. It was fun. We got to spend a lot of time, the three of us, when we did the community event on the Saturday morning is really when we got to spend a lot of time. We were at the same table, weighing, sealing, doing all sorts of things
Yes,
with mac and cheese, packing some meals for some people. It was good stuff. It was good stuff. But yeah. Oh, we got Spot Center saying AJ Awesome is greater than Mike Awesome. That is true.
That's
is true.
That's a fact. That's
But,
a
I mean,
fact.
Yeah. Well, I got to know because you are, as somebody who is approaching 40 years of age.
That's where I was going to. Yeah.
I'm approaching 40. You, my friend, are how old?
14?
14. And you've been covering wrestling and doing this for what, 7 years now? 6 years? 7 years?
7 to 8, probably.
Okay.
Can I tell the story I told last night on the Mark Order to our fans?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're sitting
while
there.
everybody does the math, because us
Yeah.
folks.
While we
older
were
folks are not
sitting
good at
there
math.
talking to you and your mom, you were like, "Yeah, I'm 14. I've been doing this for 7 years," and I just kept on doing my thing. And the rust in the wheels and the smoke started turning, and I was like, "Wait, wait, that means you were 7.
Yeah.
And I said, that's crazy because I've been doing this for like 7 years and I'm 38.
Yeah.
So my question, I guess, to start this whole thing out, you're 7 and you knew that this is what you wanted to do. How did that come to be? How'd that conversation with the parents go? Like, hey, I want to get into wrestling media like right now.
My parents were extremely supportive. I started, I believe, a bit younger than 7, doing interviews on the independent scene. And then over the time, I interviewed wrestlers through the independent scene. So by that point, whenever we were traveling to Chicago for All In, I already had a pretty good reason as to why she should drive me. And the fact that Cody Rhodes himself gave the media credentials really cemented it as, yes, we need to go for my parents.
That's awesome.
It's crazy.
I'm just trying to fathom this. So like, yeah, like, I mean, because when I got into wrestling media, I tell people all the time, like my parents, I'm like, I do wrestling stuff now. And they're like, what is that? I don't understand. They're supportive, but they don't understand it. Were you like are you guys like a big wrestling family? Did you pick it up from the parents? Was it something you gravitated towards and they just were like, that's what he likes?
My dad and my mom were there whenever Kane debuted at Hell in a Cell.
Oh,
like live? 90s. They were there live?
Yeah, they were there live.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
So they've pretty much been a fan of wrestling for a long time, but they dropped out of wrestling for a while. Over the late 2000s to 2013, which is whenever I started getting into it.
I think a lot of us fell out.
I definitely picked up.
Yeah, and I think that's when I kind of fell out around that time, the late 2000s, and then it was really CM Punk in that 2011 that brought me kind of back into the swing of things. But that had to be cool because I bet you if they fell out of it and then you started liking it, it probably brought them back to it. And they were like, and then the whole thing. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
So real quick, we got Ophelia saying 14. I'm ready to walk into the ocean and die. Eric saying, damn, he started when he was 20. He's already washed. Josh Robinson saying, hey. Eric just saying 14's that I'm pals with Cody Rhodes. I think that's a great segue, Eric. So you said Cody gave you the credentials to All In. Now, you said you started when you're like 7. You're reaching out to wrestlers for interviews, I assume, like we all do. How does that conversation go when they're like, oh yeah, hey, like, is it harder when you're younger in this age for people to, I don't want to say like take you serious because we've seen your body work. It's fantastic. You are very serious at what you do, but maybe for people that don't know, are they like, he's 7, I'm about to do this interview with this AJ guy. He's a kid. Like, how does that work? Is it harder for you? Easier?
I felt like it was a little bit easier because, 7-year-olds, hard to say no to a 7-year-old.
It's true. It's true.
So I felt like it was a little bit easier, but the first interviews I did were with people I had that had watched me grow up from 3 to 7 at that point, since I had been in the independent scene for about that long. So they kind of knew me in a way. So I feel like that helped. That's awesome. Then with the bigger named interviewers I also knew the people at that show, so that helped because they were able to be like, hey, he's kind of decent.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Mrs. Pluggo says, hi, Mrs. Pluggo. Hi, honey. How are you? The love of my life, the apple of my eye, first lady of beards.
There it is.
You got to.
I
don't mind sleeping on the couch, but I prefer the bed.
So how often, obviously, so now you are going into, you got your freshman in high school. That's what we got coming up here. So how often are you able, obviously with being a kid, going to school, being a full-time student, stuff like that, how often are you able to actually, like, we met at SummerSlam, like, is it really a during the summer or off school time thing? If there's an opportunity, you try to go do some media stuff, or is it really, you got to really pick your spots? Because obviously I assume school is most important. You want to be the best student you can be first,
So I do online school, so I'm kind of able to do it in the hotels, but fitting it into my mom's work schedule and stuff is kind of hard. But usually we're able to go to the bigger events, like we went to WrestleMania.
Nice.
That's incredible. That's incredible. I wanted to go to WrestleMania in Philly this year. I couldn't make it. I'm hoping I'll be out there in Vegas next year, though. That would be cool stuff. Pluggo, go ahead, man.
Oh no, I was listening to you talk about WrestleMania.
No, that was it. Yeah, WrestleMania.
Yeah,
What a
WrestleMania,
time.
dude. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have never been to a WrestleMania. SummerSlam, that was my first big event, I would say. That's the biggest event I've done in media. Was the SummerSlam. So
Yeah.
that's cool. Like so, and then you said All In, and Cody gave you. How did you? So you told me this story. So I've heard this because I asked over the weekend, but maybe to the people that how did you link up with Cody? How did that work out? And then you said he gave you the media pass for All In. Essentially, he was the one that was giving them out at the time. So he had a good rapport with you. Obviously, he liked you and gave you a shot that a lot of people don't get. AEW is pretty strict with that media.
So I don't think he was the one that was giving them out, but I feel like he sent in a good word. So on Twitter, he quote tweeted a post and basically said, "Hey, we'll see you at All In," which was how me and my mom figured out about the media passes. I met him at a independent show in St. Louis, a Glory Pro show. It was basically at the start of his independent run. And I asked him if he wanted to do an interview, and he said yes. And then we did a interview, and then everything went from there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
I was at
cool.
that. Yeah, I got to go to All In. Obviously, I went as a fan. I just traveled for All In because it was this, when it was all going down, it was like, wow, it really felt like a revolution type of thing that was happening. It was like, oh, this is cool. And being in the building was just incredible. You could feel the vibe immediately. Like everyone was pumped to be there. The event was just incredible. What was that experience like just in general, being in that building on the media side of things? Because I was in the balcony as a fan, having the time of my life, being like, yo, this is the start of something new. Like, how did it feel with that was that your first official media experience? How was that to be at that particular event?
I feel like I didn't realize just how big of a scale it was at that age. So I was having a lot of fun, of course, through the show. And then I don't remember if I was nervous about the media scrum, but because that was half my life ago at this point.
It's true. It's true.
I don't remember a lot about
I
that.
was nervous at the media scrum at SummerSlam. I'm 38. I have to imagine. Yeah. Maybe that was a good thing because you're just in that moment, not realizing like what you're actually a part of. Not to say in a negative, but like you said, you're 7. You might not have been able to grab. That's crazy. So when you go to these scrums, like, how is the reception of the fellow members of the media? We talked about it last week with a couple people like Jose and Kimmy. It was a wonderful experience for us. Everybody was super nice, super chill, very helpful and accommodating. When you're walking up to that podium, man, is it all love?
Yeah, the wrestling media people are very, very kind.
Awesome.
They showed me respect whenever I was first getting in there, and they still do. And I am very thankful to have them be supportive of me. So, yeah, I would say it's a lot of support from the wrestling media people.
Yeah, 100%.
And if we hear any different, we got beef. We'll take care of it. Take care of it. Well, you said, I'm start. No, I'm just saying. How you gonna be mean to AJ? That's all I'm saying. Don't be mean to AJ.
I don't see how you could. So obviously we met at SummerSlam weekend, AJ. So of that weekend, kind of what was the one or two things that stuck out to you the most? What was your kind of your
besides
favorite thing
meeting
that happened? Well, yeah, besides meeting us, obviously we know that's
that's
top of the list. We're not counting that. But like, what was your favorite thing of the weekend, and what were the couple things that stuck out to you from SummerSlam weekend a couple weeks ago in Cleveland?
I really enjoyed having a chance encounter with Liv Morgan and Drew McIntyre. It was very unexpected, and I love watching those two wrestle. So it was an amazing experience. Also, just the entire community event day. Being at Table 11 was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
hold on real quick. That's right, Bailey. Table 11.
Yeah.
Dominated.
We were the best.
Not 19. We were the best.
No, we were the best. Table 11.
That name right there, awesome. I got that from The Miz, so being able to meet The Miz was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, he was a surprise. Drew was a surprise. Cody was a surprise too.
Cody
It was,
ended up
it was
being a
really
surprise.
cool.
Yeah. No, that day was a
my
lot of
favorite.
fun. Yeah, I think that was my favorite thing that we did that weekend because it was just like, I don't know. I think I got a lot more out of that than I was expecting to get out of that, and it was that was a really fun time. And yeah, the Miz showing up and kind of hyping everybody up on top of the table there, and then Cody showing up. That was a very cool little event that we got to do. And then there was
Did you get to
SummerSlam
chat with your old buddy Cody at the
Yeah.
community event at all?
Yeah, I got to take a photo with him, and he actually let me hold the title belt.
Nice.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty. Dope.
I got the fist bump, but I got him to yeet again, so I felt pretty good about that. But
That's good.
that was like a really fun time. I am not, for those that don't know, and Boris is in the house. There he is now. He's under his normal alias, the voice of LPW, the one, the only Boris, Big Bad
best.
Boris. I'm going to be hanging out with Big Bad Boris Saturday at noon. We're going to do the West Edmonton Brawl preview show for 4 Exposure because Blair is out of town.
There we go.
I'm going to be running that show. Watch out, world. But yeah, the community event. Like we got there and there was tables set up. We were packing meals, like we said earlier. It was really fun. All the kids, getting to ask them who their favorite wrestlers were, who was going to win at SummerSlam. Just watching their eyes light up when the music hit and here comes Cody Rhodes. Like it was just super fun to see. And then like the competitive nature of the tables, yet it was, it was still all in a good cause. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, but I did like that part of the show. Not the show, but of the event where it was like, oh, we were joking around, being like, we're killing it at table 11, yo, because we were slaughtering. We were going at a pace that was unmatched. Table 11, unmatched, and we're kind of like being funny, and then the other tables are like, what? And everyone's like kind of paying attention. Bailey's talking trash from table 19, but like in a heartwarming way, but like talking trash, like we're the best, and we're like, table 11. And then Big E came over to our table and it was over.
Sweated all over everything.
Yeah, but you had Big E and AJ. They were weighing, passing it over, sealing it, packing. Oh my God. Emily May was there. You were there. AJ's mom was helping. Oh, it's a dominant table. You could say it was the head of the tables. You could.
Oh, AJ just gave you a look like, hey, come on.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You could have.
It's like
I'm
said busy.
It was the head of the table.
It was. Not we acknowledge us.
Yeah. So obviously SummerSlam happens, and we're a couple weeks past it now. I think the last couple Raws have been really good, and we'll talk a little bit about what happened this past Raw and how we're leading into Bash at Berlin here. But what was your favorite match of SummerSlam? Well, obviously it was a very storyline-driven PLE. But like, what was your favorite match, or what were the couple matches that you thought hit the most for you as far as the SummerSlam event went?
Bailey versus Nia Jax was a lot better than I would have imagined. Logan Paul versus LA Knight was also a very good match.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Cody and Solo put on a show, though, definitely.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. They're in kind of a tough spot because they're the main event of the show, but like everybody was waiting more for the Roman Reigns return moment than they were the match itself between Cody and Solo. And that's a hard spot to be in because if you have everybody waiting for this moment where, hey, I can't wait to flip out when Roman's music hits, and then there's 15 minutes before we get there, and it's just these, and everyone's like, come on, let's get to it. It's hard to keep the audience kind of together and like in that when we're so much looking forward to the next thing. And I thought they did really well. And then obviously once the bloodline started coming out and it kind of got into chaos, it kind of went to a different level. And then the Roman return and stuff was just incredible as well. But yeah, I thought that was a really good match. I enjoyed Rhea and Liv. I thought that was a really good kickoff match. And then obviously you had the Dom moment that just, started everything. And then Dom shows up. Go ahead. I know
Dirty Dom.
Dirty Dom. Unbelievable. And then I know you have been itching to talk about
chicken tendies.
Chicken tendies in general.
No.
Unbelievable. I did that. I said that on a platter for Pluggo, and he didn't even dive in.
You yelled at me for mentioning the pro show. But we have a question from our buddy Eric for AJ. He's asking, like, Do you have any aspirations to get into the ring, Nick Wayne, Billy Stark style? They started about the same age as you did wrestling. So do you have any aspirations to become a wrestler, or is it strictly media personality?
I would like to get into the ring. It was my plan that I had and set at 7 years old was to turn this into a professional wrestling background. But over the years, I have become a little bit more in debt going to some of the wrestling trainings, and I realize it's a lot harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So I might not want to do it, but who knows? I might one day.
Yeah. Have you taken a bump?
No.
Okay. I didn't know. Maybe you could just not like take one
have...
from somebody else, but like do like a flat back. Because I've heard even when you just do that first, like, I'm gonna fall now, it's like once you hit the mat the first time, you're like, oh, okay. That's a little bit different than I thought it was gonna be. But yeah. That's fun.
Yeah,
That's fun.
no, like, I would not. I don't think I would ever get into it. I have said multiple times, if any promotion wants to book me just to take a chair shot one time, I'd be willing to do that.
That's on the airwaves.
I'll take a chair shot one time just for funsies. On like why not? Like beat up Pluggo. I know that there's a line in Edmonton of people that would be willing to do that.
That is true. I know that.
That's why. That's real. That's the real reason I never go. I just don't get beat up.
That's a true thing.
But the final count, Kentucky says new subscriber love for the AJ Awesome Show, and I am a podcast host myself. Well, hell yeah. More podcast hosts, the better. We need more in this world.
Oh.
And Brian Sullivan says that he said, join me with the J shot or hit me.
I know. He'd probably be the one that would want to hit you. I can only imagine.
Now that, and we're talking podcast host and things like that. Who's your dream wrestling interview?
Another question. Yeah.
You've already got to interview quite a few big
names. Who would the dream wrestler interview be right now for you, AJ?
Randy Orton, I would say, is the first one that comes to mind. He's hometown hero. He's the hometown hero, and he's been a favorite of mine for a long while.
Yeah, I mean that would be.
He's gonna be at that. He's gonna be at that NXT October 13th, something like that. 7th,
yeah,
8th,
October.
Yeah, like yeah.
He's obviously before that though. He's gonna be fighting Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship at Bash at Berlin. He floated over to Raw here to kind of finish that out because they had the unfinished business at King of the Ring. I actually feel really good that NXT is going on the road for the 2 weeks. They're doing the one in Chicago with CM Punk and then the one in St. Louis with Randy. I think this is a big testing ground for them because I think if those 2 weeks go well, I expect that NXT will start to be a touring brand and get out of the Performance Center where they are now. Do you watch NXT regularly, AJ? Are you a regular viewer?
I check out the pay-per-view sometimes. I haven't been watching it weekly. Okay.
Yeah, the pay-per-views are good. NXT is good in general, especially now that they have the TNA stuff going on, like Joe Hendry out there. Basically heading towards going for the NXT championship. So it's pretty cool. How they're doing that. NXT's been really, really good. I thought this past NXT, the main event, the tag team match for the titles between Chase U, oh my God, I'm going to draw a blank on the name and Axiom and Nathan Frazier was excellent. And Chase U winning the belts back kind of shocked me a little bit, but I thought it was really well done. I was expecting Ridge Holland to turn, but he actually won the championships for them, and I thought that was a nice little touch. Because I was like, oh, they're not going to win because of Ridge. That's how I felt like it was going to go. But then they were like, oh, no. Ridge is going to be the guy that wins it for them. And I was like, I agree with the final count. I do feel like NXT will be really good on the road. So
you said you don't watch NXT. What's your like must watch? I gotta watch it. How does your wrestling, like, what do you watch with?
What's your wrestling weekly calendar?
Yeah,
I guess.
What do you?
Of course, Raw and SmackDown. I watch some Dynamite, some Rampages, but usually I watch recaps and ups and downs. Sometimes I wait after so I can skip through the advertisements.
It's fair. Yeah, I feel like it's really hard to miss Raw and SmackDown nowadays. I feel like it's really hard to miss the way they're doing things. But before I do want to talk about the current wrestling and stuff you're digging now. You did mention All In. And the big news of the day is that it was announced that All In 2025, so next year's All In, not only will be moving out of August and moving to July, I believe it's July 12th, but it is going to be in Arlington, Texas at Globe Life Park where the Texas Rangers play their baseball games. So we are going to have a little bit of a shift in the calendar of the AEW pay-per-view calendar, which is good. Separating All In from All Out with more than a week or two is a good thing. But now it's going to be All In is not going to be, they did the first last year and this year will be in Wembley, but it's coming to America. It's not just going to be in the same place
in
all the time.
Australia.
Yeah, that's another big thing we'll talk about. Yeah, but
you're crazy for a dying company, huh?
Yeah, I mean, big news that All In is kind of not going to be in Wembley. They're going to kind of be maybe moving it around year by year. And Texas, it's got, I like the look of baseball stadiums when they do big wrestling shows. I think they look pretty cool because baseball stadiums are obviously designed a little bit different than how a normal arena is. But that's some big news about All In coming to America, coming to Texas. That's some. I'm excited about that. I'm thinking like maybe by the time it comes around, like, can the Beards take over Texas for All In?
With the AJ will swing by and pick you up. Drive down.
That's what I'm talking about. It all started at All In for AJ. All In's coming back to the States. Let's go. Let's rage.
Arlington's a bit far away. I think it's 12 to 15 hours.
Yeah. Oh, Spencer's saying it should be a different event. He says, I think they've missed their chance to really plant their flag in the UK. I think that this almost guarantees a WrestleMania in London. Probably. I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I can see that though. Like if you really wanted to make sure that like you were we're coming to the UK every year for this monster show every year, it's happening. And then they're like, all right, no, we're going here. And now the UK's like, all right, now we're just,
Well, money talks. I guess if we're being honest, right, the first All In did 80,000 and this one's not quite there yet. So maybe there is a decrease in interest, but yeah, I mean, keeping it there would just make sense. I haven't since they've started doing it. I don't like the 1 or 2 weeks in between, All In and All Out. I always felt it got kind of convoluted when they were trying to tell stories, but this pushes it back in July. And then, so does that mean Forbidden Doors at the end of June, right? So you get Forbidden Door and then go right into All In and then have All Out. So that's not bad.
No,
I like that.
Yeah, I think it spreads out their calendar more for sure.
And I mean, it's at a baseball stadium, so you still can do a good number. And I mean, hey, I like a unique ballpark for a show.
100%.
Double or Nothing's in May too.
Yeah. Double or Nothing May, so it spreads it out. But yeah, I think you're right. I think Spencer's right too, in the sense you keeping that as one of your big main attractions over in the UK would be a big deal. But maybe it could be Wembley. Maybe they were just like, nah, we don't want to. I don't know. I'm not one of those guys that have those insider knowledges. I don't have all the scoops, so I don't know how that transpired. Unless we're going to find out in a week that he's still doing All In London too.
What do you mean? You have 2 All Ins?
What if he just goes, it's the All In series. We're doing Texas, London.
Imagine. No, I can't imagine.
All In becomes his crown jewel.
Oh my God, imagine. That would be something.
Man.
The final count is saying he would love to hear thoughts on the resurgence of TNA. I feel like they are on the come up. Well, TNA, unfortunately, they counter-program us.
Yeah.
So they're scared. They fear us. So they're like, we got to go on against these guys. Somebody needs to hold them down. So they counter-program us. But I will tell you this. From what I've seen of TNA, I was able to go to Slammiversary. I'm all in. No pun intended there. But I like what they're doing. I like their roster. I think they put on good, entertaining, watchable shows. Yeah, I'm all in on it.
What about you, AJ? Do you watch TNA at all?
I've checked out a few of their newer pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I like that they rebranded it back. It's a pretty cool change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nostalgia was hit.
Yeah.
I like TNA as a weekend watch for me.
Exactly. And I like, they have a
No,
good
I agree.
roster. They brought in Nemeth. He's their champion now. I think that's a good name as your champion, but they have a lot. Joe Hendry is super duper over. Jordan Grace is incredible. And then you have those other guys like Steve Macklin, who's solid, really, really good. They got a whole hell of a roster. And now they're doing the NXT TNA thing. It's helping them out. They're getting Joe Hendry on NXT literally every week now, it feels like. And then there's, NXT people popping in there. Like, it's a good little piece of business that they're all doing together. So I dig it.
Wolfgang main evented a TNA show.
I saw that.
Something he would never do.
Yeah, I saw that. Wolfgang. Unbelievable. Joe Hendry literally on Tuesday night at one point was talking to Ethan Page, telling him that he wants to become the NXT champion. And I'm just like, all right, that's a TNA dude. Then you have the Rascals, the whole thing with the Rascals where they broke up. Oh my God. I still feel wrong about that. That makes me feel wrong.
Do you like the crossovers, AJ? Do you like seeing the companies working together, or do you prefer to keep them separated?
I feel like it would help make wrestling a better product, and that's what wrestling should be about. I feel like having wrestling be so separate from the different brands and having different fan bases for each product, it kind of ends up hurting wrestling in the long run.
I agree. More exposure, dropping. Scott saying Nemeth and Alexander is the TV main event. That is true. I don't think that is going to end in any decisive finish. So you're going to get that at Bound for Glory, I think, is coming up next, if I'm not mistaken.
That's their next big one. Yeah, I think
you're going to get that at Bound for Glory. I don't think you're going to get it at that next one.
Alexander, Slammiversary weekend, Alexander turned heel. So that would make sense that he would be the next in line for Nemeth and stuff like that. But I think you're probably right. They saved that for the big event, Bound for Glory, because that's their next big one.
Yeah, they might figure out a way to extend that guy. But, what are you going to do?
100%.
Speaking of extending storylines, you didn't mention it. The Judgment Day. Still going strong.
Oh, yeah.
What is your favorite story in the WWE right now? You got the Judgment Day stuff. You got the Bloodline stuff. You got
Wyatt Six.
What do you like? What's your move? What's your go-to?
Hard to pick exactly one. All of the storylines happening right now are amazing in their own ways.
Okay.
I really like what they're doing with the Wyatt Six, the Judgment Day, and Terror Twins, of course, are having an amazing storyline right now.
Yeah. I mean, the Judgment Day is, man, let me tell you, they're hitting all cylinders with that one there. I love me a good mixed tag, and that match at Bash at Berlin with Rhea and Priest going against Dom and Liv, that's going to be a whole lot of fun. That is going to be a whole lot of fun, that match. I like how Rhea now for consecutive weeks has almost got Liv and Dom, but the other one has saved them. So they're going to kind of just keep teasing it to that moment where it's like, can you just ruin them, please? I think it's been really, really good. And I love how they're going to make us wait for Priest and Finn. They're going to make us wait for it. I think that's amazing because you want to see him get his, but they're just going to, like Finn said, I'm going to wait till I'm out of your mind. Like you don't even remember me. And that's when it's going to happen. Like I'm not giving you the satisfaction of, so I like what they're doing there. I think it's a lot of fun. Yeah, that's probably, I mean, I love what they're doing with the Wyatts. They have not missed a beat with the Wyatts for me. But the Judgment Day stuff is really, really good. That's probably my favorite thing that's going on right now. What are you digging, Plug? Are you on board with that? Like,
well, I kind of teed that up. I wanted to kind of see where AJ's head was at too. I know where yours is at a little bit, but I was thinking about that pretty long this weekend. Like that's obviously number one. I think if we were to ask most people, I think that's the top storyline, and then there's just a conversation to be had for number two, which is crazy to think considering maybe like a year ago we were like, oh god, this Judgment Day thing is still happening. Cody and Friends versus Judgment Day for the 90th time. And you're just kind of like, and the way they've been able to interject new things and the turn with Dom at SummerSlam, which, was crazy. And then just the way that they've been able to make it work has been going super well. So that's for me, I think this is number one. That's where I like kind of stop and go, well, like what would actually be like my hard number two if you had to rank them? I don't know. I like. I'm going to be intrigued on this KO Cody stuff for the next couple of weeks for Bash at Berlin, because I really enjoyed the way KO was very like apprehensive about like, hey, I don't want this title shot, and they're like, no, we're going to give it to you. And the second Pierce was like, Roman, I'm talking to Roman, KO was like, I'll take it. Don't give it to him. So I was very intrigued by that. So yeah, but they've been cooking. WWE's been cooking for a while now. I think, like you said, it's hard to miss the shows. If you miss something, if you feel like you're missing something, we're heating up some new guys. I'm interested to see if they keep pushing Bronson Reed to the moon. I hear Seth is out. I don't know if that's a work just to help Bronson Reed get over more, or if he's actually hurt.
I think they kind of did it in both ways. I think
he
had to take some time off to let some stuff heal, and they were like, hey, the thing they did, again, I thought they nailed it again. The thing they did last week with Bronson Reed and Seth was a thing of beauty. It was a thing of beauty. I had not seen a one-night shoot up of a guy like that in a while, and I thought that they did it again on Raw. They did it very well with R-Truth this past week, because R-Truth is a beloved person. Everybody loves R-Truth, and he squashed R-Truth 4 or 5 times. AJ, how have you been feeling about what they've been doing with Bronson Reed here the last couple of weeks? I thought it's been an incredible. He's been elevated so much in 2 segments. It's been incredible.
I love that they're pushing him. I interviewed him once.
Of course, you did.
Remember it was at a StarCast or a NWA show, one or the two. So he's a pretty cool guy, and it's nice to see you get pushed.
I agree. And he can go. He's an agile for a big man. He's very agile. He can, and that they have made the tsunami. That is a must-see move now, because, that match that he had with Miz on Monday, that crowd was popping for that move the second he even went through the ropes. Like the second they knew it was coming, you could hear the roar of the crowd start. And then he hits the first one and he wins the match, or he does whatever. I think he hit 1 or 2 before he won the match. And then the crowd's just ready. And the crowd's like, all right, do it, man. We know they're good guys. We know we're not supposed to be cheering you, but we're cheering you. Like, go up there again, do it. And the crowd's like really into it. And even with R-Truth, it was like, man, and him and Pierce were getting in each other's face, and Pierce was like, I'm going to suspend, you're suspended. And it was like, oh man, this is real good stuff. Real good stuff.
Yeah. Cause we've seen that countless times where you try to heat up this monster heel, but they still get like, they lose to like the baby face, but then just beat him down afterwards. And we're supposed to go, oh yeah, they're still a monster heel. I like that they're just letting him squash these people that we love, instead of doing the old whoopsie, I lost, let me beat him up afterwards. It's kind of a nice change of pace. I do love that. I will say this, and you guys, I don't know what happened to you guys on Monday. I don't know how you watch Raw, but I'd like to say, hey, listen, USA Network, the app, when I go down to sit at my TV at 8 p.m. on a Monday to watch Raw and 911 comes on, and you play 911 during the entirety of Raw, and I have no other way to watch Raw,
that happened?
You messed up. Yeah. So I had to that's why if you watch my Facebook posts or my timeline, it's only the Rhea Dom stuff, and then I didn't get to I had to watch it back the next day on Hulu, which I don't mind, but it's a cut down version. So USA app.
Well, you don't have much longer.
I like it. I like 911. Don't get me wrong. It's a great program. It's a lot of fun. But it's not what I signed up for on Monday. Get your shit together. Sorry, AJ.
Wow. I swear.
Get your shit together.
Come on now.
I was very disappointed Monday.
That's fair. My thing is, wait, no, you don't have to deal with that though, because soon Raw is going to be on Netflix.
Not till January. It's still August.
That's fair. What are you going to do when you have to watch 2 shows on USA starting next month? For 3 months.
They better figure it out.
That app better be running.
The app
double the time on USA for a few months.
Well, the bugs better get worked out, because I was not thrilled.
Ophelia saying that her channel showed the rodeo instead of AEW last night, so she missed that.
Jesus.
Imagine that.
The rodeo.
I remember when I was a young child, sometimes I would go to put on Raw, and there would be a dog show on instead of Raw. This is when I was a youth, and at the time I didn't understand things, so I'd be like, "Why are there dogs? Where's the wrestling?" And I would be so upset. And Raw would start at like 11 o'clock at night, and I was probably your age, AJ, and I'd be like, "Well, great. Now I can't watch this because I can't stay up till 1 a.m. because my parents will murder me because I have school tomorrow." Dang it. I'd be so upset. But now I see a dog show, and I'm like, "Oh, a dog show? I'm watching this for 9 hours right now. I'm going to watch this whole dog show. That's what I'm going to do." But anyway, wait. Spencer saying, in Canada on TSN, they'll usually have competitive tag.
Wait a minute. Competitive tag is wild. You ever seen those? It's crazy. Competitive tag is something. What does Scott say? Pluggo, just turn yourself in next time, and that won't happen. Turn myself in? For what? What did I do, Scott?
I don't even know what that means.
I don't either.
Wait, what is competitive? Have you seen this?
Dude, you said, have you seen this?
No, I have not.
AJ, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen a few clips.
It's wild, dude. You said so you get like two people at the opposite end of like an obstacle course. Yeah, it's like, and then it's almost like, and then they have to get across to like, almost like capture the flag or like a safe zone, and they're just doing like parkour shit stuff. Curse up storm also. I'm all fired up. It's awesome. It's crazy. Look it up on TikTok.
On TikTok.
To get clips, you don't have to like sit through like a whole thing. Just like a competitive tag. It's wild.
This Spencer saying, JPJ, I'm so happy you get to discover this today because it rules. That's probably what I'm going to do once we get off this program. Is I'm probably going to be like, all right, I need to eat something.
He's going to be up for 4 hours.
YouTubing, going down a dark hole for 3.5 hours of competitive tag, like the greatest plays in the history of competitive tag. Just losing my mind.
Oh, because I should turn myself in. Oh, well.
Got it. It's 911 one of those like USA dramas?
No, 911 is like that. It's like it was on Fox. It's a show about the fire department and the police department in LA. They say
it's a fake show though. It's a drama.
Yeah, it's a fake show. It's got like the dad from Parenthood.
Oh,
but he's like the cop, or he's like the firefighter. What's her name? Jennifer Love Hewitt was in it for a few seasons.
Excuse me, JLH.
She's in it for a few seasons, and they like save people's lives, dude.
Well, all right, I can imagine. All right, God. So AJ, besides wrestling, mainly we're a wrestling show, but besides wrestling, what else? What other hobbies? What else are you into? What you into? Any TV shows or video games? You a video game kid? Like, what else are you in besides just wrestling? What else?
Because everybody needs to cool down.
Yeah.
Well, my parents are watching, so I'm sure they'll be tired of hearing about these two topics for the 17th time probably today. But I love playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I would say I'm pretty decent at the game. And probably my favorite TV show of all time is Amphibia.
Oh, I don't think I know what that is.
It's a relatively new Disney XD cartoon.
Okay. All right, I'll check that out. I like me some cartoon.
So Super Smash Bros. I just mash the buttons. I don't actually know what any of them do.
Do you have a go-to character?
Little Mac.
Hell yeah. Little Mac.
Love Punch Out for the Wii.
Yeah, I was gonna say from Punch Out, one of the all-time great video games of all the time.
I don't know. Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
Yeah. Little Mac is the dude. Little Mac is the dude.
I don't think I ever played Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Excuse me?
I don't think that ever happened.
How did that not ever happen?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
I had a Sega.
Oh my god! Oh.
I'm aged, so I had a Sega. I didn't have a Super Nintendo.
Mike Tyson's Punch Out is legendary. Legendary. It took me forever to beat Tyson when I was a child. Forever. But anyway. But yeah, Little Mac. All right. Now, see, I am very much like Pluggo when it comes to Super. I can hold my own. Now, by hold my own, I mean I never win, but I don't always lose, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not the worst one in the multi-person, but I'm not good. I'm not good. But I am a button masher when it comes to Super Smash. I don't know if there's rhyme or reason to what you're supposed to be doing. All I know is I'm hitting all the buttons until something happens. So that's probably not the best.
AJ sitting there going, I crush both.
Oh
of
my
you.
god, you could go 1-on-2 and I don't even think we get a move in. Probably that's how bad I am at that game. I'd be like, no, But all right. Now, now you say you think you're pretty good at it. Like, do you feel like you could compete competitively
I have.
in it?
Oh, jeez. The competitive gaming scene, what's that like?
It's in a way like wrestling media. It's very supportive, but in the same way, wrestling media is kind of competitive. You're trying to get your questions in, and I feel like it's kind of like that in the gaming scene where you're trying to get your big tournament in, which I have not gotten yet.
No.
All right, that's fair. Have you? So you said you have competed. Has it been all like virtual competitions, or have you like gone somewhere to compete before? Like, what's the extent of your competition when it comes to the Super Smash Brothers?
I've been to a few in-person tournaments, and I've played a couple online.
Nice.
Oh man, look, see.
That's kind of cool. I'd be honest with you, because like we actually, no joke, we talked about this last night with Ryan. We would have never when we were your age. That makes it sound so old. That wasn't really a thing. It was, but it wasn't. Like, it was much harder to be like, I'm going to just show up at these Madden tournaments or Super Smash Bros. Tournaments and compete and make money doing this.
Yeah. It was definitely not the time for that. Now I feel like there's schools now that have esports teams, and like you can go be like they treat them the same way they treat the regular, like all the athletes. It's considered the same thing now. Like, that was not an option when I was looking at colleges and things like that. It wasn't like, oh, I can go here and be on the video game team. Cool. All right, I'm gonna go do that. I guess it's all I do. I'm 17. What else would I be doing? But that just wasn't the option. Nowadays, I feel like now I'm just old. I should have been born 20 years later.
So that
then
brings
I'd be
up,
like,
that brings up a good question for you, AJ. Are you what's the goal here then? Do you want to be a competitive gamer, or are you just going to try to do wrestling media forever? What's the move, since you've been doing it for 7 years now? You're a veteran in this game.
It's true.
I'll try and do both. It might at some point get hard to balance both, but I'll try and do both.
Yeah.
All right. I have a question.
You might be the first competitive gamer wrestling media juggernaut of all time.
Yeah. Now, you said your parents.
He's just shrugged like, "Yep."
Yeah,
it's happening.
No big deal.
He's so humble.
No big deal. I'm only a freshman in high school, and I've accomplished more than most people in wrestling media. So,
Karen says college.
That's fair.
That's my mom.
Is that your mom? I figured it was. I figured it was.
I didn't want to just come out and say it.
Mom says your goal needs to be college. She's about to bust into that room and be like, "Did you just say what I?"
He literally just had freshman orientation. Let's let him get through high school first. Come on, he had freshman orientation today. We're talking about college. Let the kids settle in. Come on.
Shout out to AJ's mom, by the way, who is just wonderful
woman.
person.
Yes, very, very nice.
You should go to college, AJ.
And to be honest, we made it very clear to AJ we wanted him on this show, but we did the right thing
and asked mom first.
And we asked mom for permission. We did do that. So all right, I know you said your parents watch wrestling before you started interviewing and even independence, even though you were super duper young. Do you have a moment that you remember as like the first moment you yourself like fell in love, or was like, oh, I really like pro wrestling? Like, obviously, I know the parents' influence was probably huge on you, but is there a specific match or moment that you remember that made you fall in love and be like, oh, I actually really do want to do this?
Well, my first show, I was absolutely terrified of the ring. It was very loud. I felt like one of the first times I started falling in love with wrestling was whenever I started watching WWE. That captured me a lot because it wasn't as scary because I wasn't there in the building.
Yeah. It is it can be a jarring loud sound, the ring, the first time you hear the crash.
Especially
you get used
some of those,
to it.
like gymnasiums where there's just echo. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. If the sound acoustics and all that stuff, like, it can be like, whoa, that was pretty loud. So I can, especially as a youngster, I could definitely see that. Now, you said Randy Orton is your dream interview at the moment. Is he Was he your favorite when you first younger? Is he one? Is he your favorite of all time, or is like who do you remember loving first when you were first starting to get into wrestling? Who were the guys that stuck out, guys and girls who stuck out to you?
Well, I would say another dream interview of mine is John Cena. I believe he was my first favorite. I dressed up as him for Halloween once.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Fully makes sense.
I believe John Cena was my first favorite.
Yeah, I can't blame you there. Especially at that era. Like that was just. Now it's all right. So, how do you feel?
Oh yeah,
We got,
Retirement tour.
it's almost over. It's almost over with Cena. We got all next year. He said he'll be doing, 35, 36 dates. So we'll get a good chunk of them next year. But as somebody who grew up in the wrestling as the John Cena era, really, how do you feel about, kind of his in-ring journey coming to an end in 2025?
I knew it was going to happen soon, but it still felt weird to hear the announcement. I was kind of sad I didn't get to see him at SummerSlam, but
Yeah.
I'll probably end up seeing him at some point. I'm excited to see what he does next, for certain.
Yeah. I heard a rumor this week that they might be interested in having him host the Oscars next year, which that'd be a good get. That'd be a good get for him. He's funny. He can make that work. I'd like to see a John Cena monologue at the Oscars. I'm a movie nerd, so I thought when I saw that, I was like, wow, the Oscars. That would be.
Is this the first like super early announced like retirement tour wrestling deal? Like, how they do it for like bands and stuff. Now I know like the Bryan Danielson stuff, he's saying this is his last full year, but they're not calling it like the Danielson retirement tour.
Yeah.
Is this like the first wrestler, which he's earned it. He's John freaking Cena.
Yeah.
But like, this is just kind of unheard of where you would, because it was so out of left field at Money in the Bank when he shows up. You're like, oh, John Cena's at Money in the Bank. And he goes, I'm retiring at the end of 2025. And you're like, huh?
Yeah.
Cena Gunther at Mania. Yes, please. I'd be down with that.
I mean, I'm okay. Terry Funk was retiring for about 75 years. I mean, there's a lot of matches.
That's true.
Yeah, there's a lot of matches I want to see. Yeah.
What would be your Cena dream match?
Oh.
I feel like seeing Cena versus Orton one last time at Vegas WrestleMania would be amazing.
I think that would be a perfect WrestleMania match. I don't know if they're going to have Orton dealing with Cody, though, at Mania, maybe, potentially. But I think for sure you need Orton and Cena. We need Punk and Cena one more time. I love Gunther and Cena. I would love Braun Breaker has been very
R-Truth and Cena. Can we get that?
That would be fun if they did that. I think Braun Breaker and Cena.
I just want
be a thing.
I just want R-Truth to realize his childhood dream, getting to face
guy. Well, he got to be in a tag match with them right after.
He did, but you get to face your childhood hero.
Yeah.
And yes, people of the internet, I get it. R-Truth is older.
Yeah. It's true.
I have to put that spoiler and I'll get yelled at.
I feel like his last match should be against Randy Orton. I feel like his last match ever, it should be him and Orton. I think that I would be perfectly okay if they did it at Mania. That match can be anywhere, really. They get to pick where that is. But I think if you were to ask me right now on the roster, unless you're doing the thing where he goes out on his back for a younger guy, like maybe a Braun Breaker or something like that in his last one,
here you go.
I think Cena and Orton would be the perfect last match for.
Here's a good question for both of you. Will they let him break the record during this retirement tour? Will they put one of the, because they have two now.
Yeah.
Will they put one of the two titles on him just to do it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I was going to say, AJ's shaking his head.
No, you don't think so? That'd be wild. Oh,
I think
we got Spencer saying yes.
Spencer saying yes. I think he'll fight for a title. I don't think he'll win it. I don't think he'll win it, but I think he'll fight for a title.
He obviously won't keep it for long. He just has to win it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely think he'll fight for a title. I think he'll fight versus Gunther or he'll fight Cody. I mean, you got to do him. Do you have to do him and Cody one-on-one at some point?
It would make sense. Cody's the new face of the company after he left to start acting. So
I mean, I guess that could be a good last match if you were going to do that. Like Cena puts over Cody as like the next guy on the last match. I mean, there's ways you could do it. But I mean,
Affiliate is saying they should erase Flair from the record.
Yeah. Well, you
So
do that
that's
by
how you do
by
that
having
by seeing
Spencer
it.
saying, I think he'll do exactly what happened in 2018. Win at the Rumble, drop it to someone else before or at Mania. So, I don't know. It's going to be weird. I mean, listen, he hasn't been around regularly in a few years now.
Scott's saying he doesn't want to break the record.
Has
Maybe
he said
that
that
might be
publicly?
true, but I mean, things change, people change.
I mean,
Danielson said he wanted nothing to do with titles,
I was just going to say, Brian Danielson has been very adamant that he
and I
does
think
not
they
want to
they
or
could do it
didn't
all
need
in.
to win the AEW World Title. Sting didn't want to win the tag titles, and I think if you had to have me pick right now, I'm probably picking Danielson to win the belt at All In. Probably. Don't think he's going to have it long.
I don't know. He doesn't need it. It's not like it's a need, but it would be like this interesting, because that's been the talk for his whole career. He's going to beat Flair's record. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. And obviously, things have happened the way they've happened, where he hasn't been wrestling consistently for years, and yada yada yada. Like, oh hey, like he snuck one out on a heel champion, got him, and then like Gunther just destroys him at the next pay-per-view. I don't know. There's a way to do it where I wouldn't be mad about it. It's not the end of the world, but I could see why you wouldn't want it either.
Yeah, and Scott's saying that Randy has 15, and he just announced yesterday that he signed for 5 more years. So he's picking Randy to be the guy that breaks the all-time record. I think
he just needs
a possibility.
He just needs to beat Gunther at Bash at Berlin.
I don't see Gunther dropping the title this fast.
I was going to ask AJ. I said, "You think that's going to happen?" I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either. But I'm an advocate of not every title reign needs to be 12 months long.
I agree, but Gunther's needs to be 48 months long. So that's.
But we just did that shit twice.
Okay, well he's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. No, I don't think Gunther will be holding the belt as long as Roman or anything crazy like that. But I do think he'll hold it.
Yeah,
for a bit. I think
sure.
For a bit.
But I'm just saying because Cody's going to hold that thing for four years.
No, Randy should beat Cody for it. If you want my honest opinion.
AJ, do you want his honest opinion?
Maybe. I don't know.
Sure.
But I think Randy loses to Gunther.
AJ's sure.
Yeah, he's going to go anyway. I don't know. Randy's going to lose to Gunther. Cody is going to beat KO. And then I think sometime by the end of this year, Randy's going to drop Cody with an RKO. And they're going to start a long-term feud. And I think Randy should beat Cody for that belt. And then Cody will win it back from Randy later on in the feud. But I do think Randy should beat Cody for the belt whenever they get to that. I do. I don't want Randy. Go ahead. Sorry.
I feel like we could see heel Randy versus Cena at Mania for a world title.
That could work.
Would make sense for Cody, Cena to win it.
Yeah. I think we're getting heel Randy soon. I think it's going to be heel Randy because that's the best story they have for Cody. He's been involved with the bloodline stuff. I'm intrigued to see how they do this Kevin Owens thing. Like, is this just going to be, hey, we're friends out of respect. We're going to have this match and then whoever wins and we're still good? Or is it going to turn into a wrestling trope where KO almost wins but loses and then he snaps or he turns heel? And, I don't think they need to necessarily do that.
Cody's running out of people to fight with the bloodlines. So
yes, Randy is the story. Randy is Cody's great story that he has with their history and everything. And, but we just got to get there. I don't know when they want to do that. I thought they should. I told you, I thought he should have arcaded him at Mania right in front of his mom. That's what I would have done. That's what I would have done if I had the pencil. But, that's just me.
I don't think Cody versus Roman 3 needs a title at all for it to be a big spectacle.
No,
I don't disagree.
You could do that.
I don't disagree. You have that in your back pocket, and you can do it whenever you want. And it's a big match people will be into. But I agree with AJ. I don't think necessarily that has to have a title for it, especially when Roman's coming back for Solo. He's not coming back for the title. He's coming back for the head of the table. He's coming back.
Just thinking too, if we don't do Cena for a world title to break Flair's record, Would they give him an Intercontinental Championship run just so he could complete the Grand Slam? That would, I'm just curious of the things that they talk. These are the things that they talk about when he comes back. He's done all this and he's not won the Intercontinental title. It's the only belt that's eluded him, and the Flair's record thing. So I'm wondering if they're gonna do this and give him something of like, here you go. Here's one more feather in your cap. Not that you need it. Because I would be fun to see him in the Intercontinental title scene a little bit, like with the Braun Breakers of the world, Sami Zayn's, things like that. Wrestling some younger guys too. I'd like him to see, Ilya and Cena would be a fun match. I think,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'd be cool with that. Braun Breaker's been vocal about wanting to fight Cena next year. So if you were going to tell me that we could get a Braun Breaker Cena match, maybe for the IC title, like I'm all in on that. I would love that. I would love that. There's a lot of people that I would like John Cena to fight.
Everybody.
You know who's another guy I would like John Cena to fight now? Bronson Reed. Give me Cena and Bronson Reed at some point that they've hot shot at him. Like, yeah, there's a lot of good matches we can have next year with John Cena. Especially now that we know, 36. If you're telling me we're getting 30 televised John Cena matches next year, that's a good amount for what we've been getting these last couple years. So I feel like that's a good chunk of John Cena that we're going to be getting. I would assume most PLEs, definitely the big four, and then some big Raws. I would almost imagine he'll be on the debut Raw on Netflix. I would think you would get him there for that. That should be good. That should be good.
What do you think of the Netflix move? Think it's better, worse, and different?
I feel like it could bring new faces to the product of people just going on Netflix. I feel like that's a good thing. But it'll make Raw a lot less accessible, I feel like, because you would need the Netflix subscription.
Yeah. They're spinning it as it's more accessible.
Yeah. And I don't know
how they spun it, but
and I don't know how they're going to do it, because like if you have the Netflix premium with no ads, you're technically not going to get commercials, but the basic plan you will. So I don't know how they're going to divvy it up and do all stuff like that. But yeah, I think Netflix is available to more people than the USA Network is when you're talking strictly.
It's also $20 a month.
Yeah, it is. But internationally, though, I don't think it's that. And it's different for us in the States.
That's a great segue. Do it.
What?
That's a great segue.
NordVPN.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So internationally, if internationally.
No, what do you mean? I don't know.
You're gonna find WWE, or if you're in the States and you're like, I got to go 3 different places. I got to go here to watch NXT. I got to go here to watch SmackDown. I got to go here to watch Raw. Blah blah blah. Well, I can just change my location and I can just say that I am international, so everything is there on Netflix. Because internationally, when this move is made, Netflix is going to be everything for everyone. Except in the States, we're going to have to go to 5 different places to watch this stuff. It's going to be more annoying for us. So if you live in the States, you can just change your location to wherever you want with NordVPN to make it easier for yourself. Everything can be in one little position. Or if you're traveling, you travel a lot for work, you travel a lot for media, you travel a lot for whatever, you want all your home settings so you know where your one button presses over here and all stuff like that. Now now I'm in a public Wi-Fi. Someone's going to steal my data. I don't know. You know what prevents? NordVPN. They are the safest VPN. They will protect you. Nobody will be stealing your data. Nobody will be getting your passwords, anything like that. And again, like as you're a wrestling fan, maybe you don't want to spend $50 a month for the AEW pay-per-views. You can change your location there too. It don't cost $50 everywhere. Just saying, it don't. So if you want to save some money, there you go. How about this? Even Spencer says you can also get more inexpensive pay-per-views changing your location because European pay-per-views are cheaper. So there it is. You get all that stuff. You get the best protection you can get. Your home settings with you on the road, whether you're on vacation, you're going for work, whatever you're doing. NordVPN is where you want to go. They are the best VPN money can buy. So go check out our friends at NordVPN. Boom. Boom. Anyway.
Look at that. That's how you do it.
You know?
We're pros at this point.
Yep. Anyway. I digress. So I know you said you sometimes watch Dynamite and Collision live, but you maintain with the product, you keep up. How are you feeling about the AEW product as a whole heading into All In? What do we got? 15 days, 14 days, something like that. A week from Sunday.
A week.
So 10 days, 11 days, something like that at this point.
11.
How you feeling about?
Is it on Saturday?
No, I think it's on
Saturday.
Sunday. Is it next Saturday?
Maybe it's Sunday. I don't know. My days are all out.
No, it might be. I don't know.
I remember seeing 11 somewhere.
Yeah, so it's next weekend, whatever day.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about the AEW product currently? And do you think they've done have they made you excited for All In? Do you think they've done a good job leading into what is their biggest show of the year?
I feel like AEW has changed from the early days. I'm not certain good or bad, but it's still a pretty decent product. Well, better than pretty decent, a pretty good product. I really want to see Sammy Guevara and Ricky Starks back on TV. That's
fair.
Yeah.
One thing I would like to say. But I'm pretty excited for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I am too. I think they have, last night on Dynamite, they lean Swerve into the heel territory for this little program they got with Danielson. They're really starting to ramp it up a little bit. And they definitely leaned with Swerve getting back to his dastardly ways, attacking Danielson after the match, saying that he was going to retire and cripple him in front of his daughter and, things like that. I was like, okay, well, all right. So, it's a smart move, I think. Obviously, they know, and we all know, that Danielson is going to be the overwhelming favorite of many wrestling fans here. He's going to be the one that everybody or most people want to see win. So I think it's a smart thing to get to kind of Swerve is that perfect thing where he can kind of go either way, and it can fit whatever he's doing. So I thought that was really good. I'm really excited to see Toni Storm and Mariah May. I'm looking forward to that match tremendously. I'm also looking forward to Britt and Mercedes. I think the two women's matches are probably the two matches I'm looking forward to the most, to be honest with you. I think they're both going to be really great, and I think the story with Toni and Mariah is just incredible, what they've told. And then you got MJF and Ospreay. You throw that in there, whatever they're going to end up doing with the tag team titles here, triple threat or Bucks and FTR again or whatever. It's setting up to be quite the show. I think we're in line to have another good one here. Plug on how you're feeling about it as we're leaning. We still got another week. We have the go home show, but
yeah,
I feel like we're heading into another big one.
I was thinking about it today. I was like, they're probably going to add a bunch more matches that I'm not ready for, that I wasn't thinking about. But yeah, it's going to be good. I like the stories that they've got. The main storylines that they're telling right now, I think, are well done. I think they're starting to hit a stride in telling those stories a little bit better and presenting them. So I'm good on it. I'm excited. AJ said he doesn't watch it a ton, but when you do watch it, you mentioned Sammy, you mentioned Ricky Starks. You want to see them on TV more, and I don't disagree. Who else do you gravitate towards in the AEW realm?
I like pretty much everyone in AEW. I feel like they all are amazing wrestlers. I like watching Samoa Joe. I
awesome.
liked watching Keith Lee. I don't know if he's going to be back on TV soon, or if he is, because I didn't catch this week's Dynamite.
No, he hasn't been on yet.
Overall, I just really like the AEW product in the roster they have.
Yeah, I mean they have a strong roster. There's guys and girls that their roster's so deep that they don't have, like you said, Ricky Starks, whatever's going on with him, he hasn't been on TV in a year.
Listen, I always say this, and I say it jokingly,
unbelievable.
But it's hard to book Ricky Starks when he's attached to Cody Rhodes' hip. It's hard to book him in a match when he's always with Cody all the time.
But
I know. I'm just being funny, but no, I don't know what's going on there. It is crazy. I think it's a little bit of both. I think they're both stubborn. I don't know. I have no scoops. I just, the way it gets perceived within the media when Ricky says something or TK says something, it's this TK's I'd love to have Ricky Starks on TV all the time, and it's you are the man that has the ability to book Ricky Starks all the time. What are you talking about? And then Ricky's yeah, no, I'm not hurt. I've been sitting at home. So I feel like both of them are kind of just being stubborn and just I want this, but I want that. So we're just not doing anything until we get it figured out, until the contract runs out and Ricky Stark ends up on NXT on Tuesday night hanging out with Ethan Page.
It's fair.
Which
I feel like Ricky Starks would be amazing on NXT.
I do too.
Oh, yeah.
I love
Oh,
Ricky
yeah.
Starks. He is fantastic. He's one of my favorites. That man, when he was in the NWA, you could tell, oh my God, this guy's got it. He's going to be something huge. And I'm just waiting for that to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but Samir Guevara returned, but he returned to Ring of Honor. That's where he just returned. So I'm assuming eventually he'll make his way to AEW again, AEW television. I don't know. Are they waiting? Are they going to throw him with Jericho again? It feels like every time he comes back, he just always just ends up with Jericho.
Do you think that has
which is not
do you
what I
guys
want,
think
but-
that has anything to do with the stuff that happened back in the day with then Sasha Banks Mercedes?
Maybe
just keeping him away for a little bit until she has came out and said though that they were good, like they talked and mended the fences. But do you think it's just maybe it's just a way to kind of reintroduce him and get him some reps, like using ROH as a minor league system? I'm not sure why they haven't put Sammy back on the main programs yet.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's very bizarre.
Because ROH also counter programs to this program. So, and it's
they all do.
$9 a month to watch.
$9.
Do you watch much ROH, HA?
The tapings before the Dynamites we go to, I stay and watch. I believe I've watched a couple of the pay-per-views, but $9 a month, we don't catch a lot of them.
When none of the ROH champions are on the show. Yeah. It's tough. It's
yes, yeah. There are other things.
You can catch your ROH world champion on Dynamite every week. Why do I need to watch ROH? But not to digress. I watch it on. It's again. I like the TNAs, the ROHs, the Rampages, all that kind of stuff. Like that's on my weekend. Like I won't appointment view those. I'll watch those on the weekend while I'm doing things around the house. I'll have it on in the background, but I'm not like sit down and be like, if I miss ROH this week, it's the end of the world. And it's no disrespect. It's just there's so much wrestling right now, which I think is super cool. We talk about it all the time. It's on every day. So if you want to watch wrestling, there's wrestling for you at the click of a button at any time. So sometimes you have to make some cuts and decide to do other things.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
Or, I mean, you could just watch wrestling 24/7, I guess.
I mean, that'd be nice, right? Imagine you had the time.
No, because what you need to do is you need to go to college.
100%.
I almost kind of feel like your mom was telling me I need to go to college.
I mean, she might have been.
Like,
I had to assume if she's watching, she goes, none of these people have been to college yet. None of them. None of these three.
It's like, I met you in person,
college.
Pluggo. You need to go to school. You need to do something with your life.
Yeah. It's all right. Me and Drew had somebody in the chat the other day telling us that we needed to do something with our lives. So.
Oh, I wish I would have been there for that.
It was incredible. It was
you should have
incredible.
told me. I'd have been like, I'd have lit him up.
First of all, you were working, doing something with.
I would have stopped what I was. I would have stopped what I was doing.
Yeah, it was.
I would no joke. I would have ducked away in the back and been like, "Excuse me,
excuse me. I got to go roast somebody. I'll be right back.
I'll
Thank
be
you.
right back."
Thank you. No, I kid. Oh man.
So, how is it? Go ahead.
I have 3 university degrees and I review video games for a living. Nothing to do with any of my education. You know?
So we speak about this doing something with your life. Clearly, you do have some semblance of a plan and some ideas of things you want to do. And then we talked about this last week, and I meant to ask you about it earlier because you did kind of allude to it a little bit. The SummerSlam, you went to SummerSlam the weekend, you went home, you slept, and it was kind of like back to normal. Like, what is that like for you? Like when you're going to school and hang out with your friends, you're like, I was just talking to Cody Rhodes yesterday. And your friends either are like, that's dope, or like my kids who are around your age, my oldest two are like, huh? Who? Cody Rhodes, who's that?
A lot of my friends do not watch wrestling. I believe I have one friend that does keep up with wrestling. And he finds it pretty cool.
That's good. That's good.
But you're just like you're at school in the lunch line, you're doing math homework, and you're just like, I was just talking to Bailey. This is ridiculous. What is going on?
Yeah, why? I'm in these walls when I was just huh?
No, the full shoot. The first thing I did at my shoot job when I returned to work was I came in and there was a toilet that was broken. So I had to fix the toilet because I am a maintenance man by trade. And I was just hanging out with Drew McIntyre. Like, what is this? This is crazy. What happened?
Yeah.
Hey, Scott went to college.
Good for you. Good for
now,
you.
Scott, I'm not saying this at you directly, but when I see things like went to college, my mind immediately defaults to Napoleon Dynamite. Your mom goes to college. Shut up. Every time. I can't help it. It's a sickness, really. It's sickness.
It's a sickness?
Yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite, though, it's a great movie. It's a great movie.
That came out before you were born, AJ.
Potentially.
Oh,
have you ever seen it? Have you ever seen Napoleon
Dynamite? I do not think I have seen Napoleon Dynamite.
Okay.
Yeah, this thing that came out early 2000s for sure. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah. That's a movie I think you'd dig. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
2004. That's when I graduated high school.
Well,
that was 6 years before I was born.
Correct. There we go. Not to date ourselves. Not to date ourselves at all. I was already out of high school during that.
Spencer Stewart just literally said that. Get your great minds thinking.
Yeah. But anyway.
we grew up in an era where there's like these super quotable like comedy movies. They don't make comedy movies anymore like that. So yeah, my references are all super dated from high school, and after that, I don't even know any new movies that are out right now. Somebody mentioned Deadpool and Wolverine.
I was gonna say, you don't know Deadpool and Wolverine?
I've never seen a single Deadpool. I've never seen a single Wolverine movie. I have no clue what those things, like why those are a thing together.
I have my movie ticket from Deadpool and Wolverine on my table for some reason.
Oh shoot! What a great segue. How was it?
It was a pretty fun movie. I would recommend it.
Yeah.
Okay. Would a guy like me who's never seen any of it understand it? Or do I have to go back and watch the other two?
I would recommend watching the other two. There are some references, but I feel like you'd enjoy it even if you hadn't watched the other two.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Pluggo hasn't seen anything.
Ophelia said she saw it the second time this week. She saw it twice. It was that good she went twice.
Yeah. She's not alone, probably. There's probably multiple people that have seen that multiple times. People love those movies. But Pluggo hasn't seen anything. He hasn't seen any of the Harry Potters. You see that face he just made? You see that face he just made?
You can roast me, AJ. It's allowed.
No, I'm not saying it to get roasted, but you see that face he just made? He was like, "Excuse me." He started watching some of the Star Wars movies and was doing reviews on here for them because he had never seen any of the Star Wars movies. And then he made it through like 3 and was like, I'm out of here. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, this is not good.
That's not for me. That's not, first of all, don't say it's not good because that's just factually wrong.
That's about as far as I made it.
Boom. Yeah. See? Boom. You're wrong.
Well, all right. He's what? It's different.
How's it different? They came out before I was born.
Pluggo.
Don't start yelling at me.
You didn't even watch any of the new ones, AJ?
I've watched the new ones that are coming out in theaters, usually with my dad.
Okay. Is your dad a big Star Wars guy?
Yeah, he's a big fan of Star Wars.
He's probably
and Lord of the Rings and Hobbits.
Oh.
See the other room yelling, going, I can't.
He's probably like, "Are you kidding me?" They're talking like this about Star Wars. He's just listening, just furious.
It's just me talking like this about Star Wars.
Yeah, he's like, "This? Are you kidding me? This Pluggo guy."
Listen.
No Star Wars or Harry Potter. What are we doing?
Listen, I sat down. I said I would watch them. We did these 5-minute reviews on the show for a few weeks. They're long.
True.
One of the movies they just walked forever.
Was that Phantom Menace? Wait, no, you watched the
original. I started
ones
the originals, and then
that's right.
He was like in love with his sister or something. It's just a weird vibe, and I was just like,
when you say it like that, it makes it sound like so much worse than it actually is.
But that's me the first time sitting and watching it, going, none of this makes any sense to me. And everybody's like, you got to get to like the 6th one before everything clicks, and I'm like, but why am I sitting through 12 hours of movie? And nothing's clicked yet. Like I was waiting for the moment everybody goes, it clicks for everybody, and then it's just like light bulbs go off, and you're just it becomes the greatest thing of all time. And I go, I just never got there. and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
It's fair.
And apparently there's different ways to watch them in different orders. Now there's 15 of these things. Like, I don't know, man. It just wasn't my vibe.
The new shows on Disney Plus have been pretty good though, and they're a little bit shorter.
Yeah, that is true. The shows on Disney Plus have been killing it.
Maybe that's my
have enjoyed
attention
those.
span. My attention
Maybe.
span.
Yeah.
But Sasha Banks is on the new one. She said
Mandalorian. She's on the
Mandalorian. She was in the
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. Remember her saying that was like it was impossible. Like for some reason, it was so hard to do that with WWE. Like they just didn't make it easy for her.
Yeah, they wanted her to not
Crazy.
do it. So
Crazy.
They were, yeah.
You never mentioned it on the air.
Bizarre.
It's crazy.
Bizarre. Man, we've kind of gone everywhere. Yeah, we're talking about movies and stuff now.
What other movies?
Where do I even go? Yeah, like what's the? Well, Deadpool and Wolverine is the movie of the summer. Like that's what's going on there. But you don't know anything about it.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the movie. That's the movie of the summer. That's happening so far. They released. Do you remember the movie from when we were young? Twister. They released a sequel to Twister. I think it's called.
I do remember Twister.
That came out. That's supposed to be all right, I guess.
They chased tornadoes. Mrs. Pluggo went and saw Colleen Hoover's book got turned into a movie, and I offered to take her on the date, and she snubbed me to go with her friend.
It, though? I don't know what we're talking about.
I don't know what it's called. I just know that Colleen.
That was a great story. That was a great story right there.
I know. I don't know what it's called. I just know that that's a movie that's out right now. And Mrs. Pluggo will probably hear this and start yelling in the chat. But yeah, she snubbed me to go on a date with one of her girlfriends for it, and I was like, oh, left me at home with the boys, and I was like, oh, okay,
well,
cool, cool story.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Anything else in the wrestling world happen that excites any of you guys?
I'm trying to think.
Believe it or not, it's been kind of a light week.
Don't jinx it.
Like it's not usually like a bunch of crazy stuff drops, but right now it's just been the Top Golf fiasco is still running rampant on my Twitter feed. It's Kimmy Sokol's birthday. Happy birthday to Kimmy.
It is. Yes, happy birthday to Kimmy. It is her birthday. What do you think about? All right, I'll ask AJ this because there's going to be a couple tag teams here showing up under the WWE umbrella. The Motor City Machine Guns and the Lucha Brothers are heading over to WWE. Rumored. So, I'll tell you what, dude. I am very intrigued because they said that Penta is showing up at the Performance Center this week. There was no talk of Rey Fenix, but they said that Penta is showing up as early as this week to the Performance Center, and that one took me super duper by surprise when I heard the Lucha Brothers. Motor City Machine Guns, I was like, oh, that's cool, but like that didn't take me by surprise. When I heard the Lucha Brothers, I was like, wow. AJ, how do you feel about the Lucha Brothers potentially being in WWE?
Surprises me for sure. I didn't really find out about them before AEW. I figured them out in the AEW time frame, and they really impressed me. So I'm happy to see them on WWE TV. They'll 100% put on some good matches if they go there.
Oh, for sure. And Ophelia's even saying in the chat, she says, doesn't Rey Mysterio have a match with a mystery partner this weekend? She goes, I assume that will be Penta. Maybe. Where's Dragon Lee hasn't been on television lately? I know he has been kind of in the LWO and kind of doing that stuff. He hasn't been on TV in a while, so I don't know what.
That's going to be my only ask with the Lucha Bros because I love them so much. Don't put them in the LWO. Don't.
Yeah, just
do that. Just
they don't all have to hang out.
Yeah, exactly.
They can do different things. They're not all just.
And I'm not trying to be that guy, but it becomes this weird trend where they're just like, oh, Dragon Lee, who's fantastic on his own. They're like, let's mix him up in this LWO thing. No, let the Lucha Bros just be the Lucha Bros. Let them go out there with the Street Profits and put on a banger, right? Let them go out there with DIY and just kill it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I'd rather you put the Motor City Machine Guns in the LWO, to be honest.
Wow, imagine.
Listen,
that would be a surprise.
That would be
more of a shock than if you're like, oh, the Lucha Bros are now, LWO affiliated. It's like, come on.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Sean, according to Scott, Sean said that he wrestled on Main Event this week. Penta.
Wow.
That's
I
right.
didn't know main event was still a thing.
No, wait a minute. Are we still talking about Penta here? What are we talking about here?
Dragon
happened?
Lee or
Dragon Lee. Oh, you mean, are we talking about Dragon Lee?
Penta? One of the
I think
two.
Dragon Lee. I would say Dragon Lee. I feel like that would be too. Why would that be the debut for Penta?
I feel
Dragon
like
Lee.
I would have
that
heard
makes
about
sense.
it if
that
it was
makes sense.
Penta.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, we would have known.
No.
Didn't I see somewhere that Penta said he's still AEW all the way? But again, people say that when you're a contracted wrestler, you say that. So I don't put stock into it, but I'm going to look that up.
I thought that I saw. Hold on, I'm right here. Oh yeah, they said that Penta was the one telling people close to him that he'd be in Orlando this week. He's also allegedly been telling friends that his AEW deal had already expired, but people in AEW tell Fightful it hasn't, and that the company could still add injury time to both Lucha Brothers contracts. So who the hell knows, really, what's going on?
Well, it's a cool time to be alive and be a wrestling fan. I mean, people have jobs where they can go wherever they want. There's all this moving and shaking. You never know who's going to show up where. So it's cool. I'm down with it.
And I think we have All In coming. They're going to do that gauntlet casino match they're doing. Like I think we're going to see Ricochet in that match probably. So that'll be a big person, who just left WWE to go to AEW. I mean, we're in a good time now where, like, if you are not fulfilled where you work, there are options for you to go to, and you can go do some cool stuff. And I expect Ricochet to succeed very well in AEW. So should be good.
You know who we haven't talked about yet?
Oh,
we didn't talk about yet. And I'm surprised we haven't mentioned it. I don't know if you guys saw. Dominic Mysterio is now a babyface and a freaking legend.
Are you talking about the Logan Paul?
I was talking about. Did you see the Logan Paul stuff, AJ?
I
was listening. I was listening to. I haven't finished the whole podcast. I was listening to it today, but I saw the clips where he was like, "Yeah, I just got back from Japan, Logan." And Logan's like, "Well, how was that?" And he's like,
"You ever been?"
And he goes, "You ever been?"
Dom goes, "You ever been?"
He goes, "You ever been?"
And
Logan's like, "Yeah, Dom, I've been." And he goes, "Well, why didn't you come with us?" And he goes, "I had prior engagements." And he goes, "Oh, I thought you couldn't go, like you were shadow banned or something. And you should have, next time you go, if you go, you should wear that hat." And I was like, "Holy shit."
Yeah. Well, he goes, "Well, no." So kinda. So how it started is what you said. And then he says, "Oh, I didn't know if you were shadow banned." And at that point, Logan Paul's like, "Come on, Dom. Like,
come on, Dom."
Like at that point, he's like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" And then Dom's like, "What?" And then Logan Paul goes, "All right, here's the deal. I've never said this before." But he goes, "I always said that if I were to go back, I want to be invited back." And he goes, "And I haven't been invited back yet." So then Dom's they chuckle. And Logan's sidekick is ragging on Logan as even more than, like he's in it. At one point, his sidekick goes, "Yeah, I actually heard a rumor that in order to get back in, Logan needs to talk to the Emperor of Japan." Like that, like he's just like, they're just ragging on him. And it's terrific. And then Logan goes, "I'll tell you," and then Logan says, he goes, "I'd be a heel there. I would definitely be a heel." And then that's when Dom goes, "Oh," he goes, "especially if you wear the hat." And then Logan goes, "That's too far, dude. That's too far." And Logan gets serious and goes, "That's too far." And then Dom goes, "Well, I'm just saying as a heel. That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is just as a heel." A tremendous piece of video footage. I would recommend watching it. Tremendous piece of video footage.
I don't catch
making Logan Paul feel incredibly uncomfortable.
I don't catch the impulsive podcast ever, but I did, like I said, after seeing that, I was like, I want to hear what Dom. I like Dominic Mysterio, like genuinely, non-ironically, like he's doing his part super well. He plays it really well. The stuff he's doing within this real Live storyline as well. He was very well spoken. He's a guy that, like, I think if you gave him a shot, I know his in-ring is probably not quite where people wish it was based on who his dad is, but dude, the dude's funny. He was so funny. I was like, oh shit, I can't believe he went there. Which it makes me wonder if, like, they were like, when was that like something that they maybe brought up pre-show or just it was on the fly? I would love to have known, like, if Dom just went full shoot. I thought you were shadow banned.
Look, and I want to know AJ's opinion on Dom. Dom gets hated on out of respect.
Yeah.
Like I think we've reached the so when Dom was first doing this, I think Dom got crapped on. He got hated on a lot because people were like, "Oh, Dom, go away." Like I think that was the original heat for Dom. But I think now, we are well past. Like I think now we boo Dom.
It's a
out of
yes chant.
respect.
It's a Cena sucks. We love Cena.
I think it's 100%. We're sticking with the shtick of booing every time you try to talk, but not because we're like, oh, go away, you stink. It's like, no, we know you're good now, but you're just still that annoying character. I think it's a complete shift from before because I think Dom has proven that he's legitimate. He's legitimately good at this, and he fits a role. How do you feel, AJ, about obviously the character you want to hate, but just Dom in general? I feel like he is leaps and bounds better than we've watched him grow into like a legitimately good member of the roster.
Yeah, I feel like Dominic Mysterio isn't as hated anymore as he was. I feel like the boos every time he tries to talk are definitely just to keep it going. Like, as you said, the yes chance and the Cena sucks. I've loved seeing Dominic Mysterio grow as a wrestler and get better as a wrestler. Yeah. And seeing his character change so much through the years he's been doing this has been insane. The way he's flip-flopped through so many. Yeah. And it worked through all of them.
It really, because he had his debut, it was
2005.
Seth Rollins, but that was one of the funniest things that he said. So we were able to get access for the Priest documentary that they did in SummerSlam weekend.
Which they booed him every time he spoke 100%. To the point where Damian goes, let him talk. He's trying to put me over.
Yeah, like let him go this time. It's all right. He's putting me over. But at one point, Dom was asked by Peter Rosenberg, the host, he goes, what has it been like for you being someone that is younger, being able to work with Rhea and Priest and at this level? And Dom's response just didn't even hesitate. He just goes, well, a lot of people don't understand. I've been here since 2005. I thought it was tremendous. And at that moment I was like, do I like Dom?
And then he said on the
Dom regularly, I feel like he would make would be funny as hell.
I would hang with Dom.
Yeah.
He said on the Impulsive podcast too that last year he was the second number of matches just behind Cody Rhodes. So the dude's a workhorse. Yeah. They see it.
When they had CM Punk come back, his first couple matches before the Rumble were against Dom.
Yeah.
So he's definitely a valued person there. And I'm sorry, the best story of the the best storyline in the Judgment Day for a long time was Rhea and Dom. And it was partly because of just the way Dom is, how hated he is and how annoying he was. And it was what does this person here see in this little SHIT? You know what I mean? And it was just all right, I'm usually the swearer, but I'm on my best behavior tonight. Pluggo's the one ripping bombs tonight. That's what he's doing.
Hey, listen, when my 14-year-old cursed at me, cursed not at me, but just cursed.
I was going to say, has any of your children
not at
have
me?
They crossed that path yet?
But they've said things, and I looked at my son and I was like, "Excuse me," and he's like, "Mom lets me talk like that all the time."
Wow,
go,
well, then
that's okay. Weird. I was like, that was new to me.
If Mom allows it, it's fair game.
That's because not Mrs. Pluggo. She might put her foot down, but no, it's just weird. So I'm sure in those wrestling locker rooms and those media scrums, you've heard a few things.
Definitely.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now, has anybody ever said openly when you've been there, oh, we need to be on our best behavior? There's and then they're just we're wrestlers. We're just gonna curse like sailors. That's what we're gonna do. But
something that happened was, I believe it was Double or Nothing, the first one. Chris Jericho was talking and answered a question, and he was about to swear. So they just went, wait, and then covered my ears as he said it.
That's good. That's funny. That's funny. Oh, man.
But mom's always there. She's got your back. You've always got, she's making sure business is handled and people are, being respectful. I was watching. She's keeping things in order
Oh,
there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She at any moment.
I'm just trying to stay at her mom's good side. I don't want her to yell at me.
Well, she yelled at you earlier.
I know. College.
So
she's one word, and I'm shook.
We don't need Mama Awesome getting on us. That's not what we need here. Like, we are friends. We are college.
We're pro
100%.
college, even though we didn't.
We are
go
pro
to
college, even though neither of us went. We are very pro college. Very pro college.
It's been in my plans to go to college.
Wait, what? What'd you just say?
It's been in my plans to go to college.
Fair.
Now, are you planning on going to college for broadcasting, media journalism? Is that because that's what you're doing now? So you kind of got a leg up, right?
Yeah, I'm planning on going to college for journalism.
Heck
Nice.
yeah. There you
Hell
go.
yeah. That'll be dope.
Don't forget about us when you're super famous, man.
For real.
Forget about those old guys that had you come on and talk about all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah. I mean, so you've done WrestleMania. You've done All In. We just did SummerSlam. Any major events that you haven't done yet that you hope at one point you'll get have you done a Royal Rumble or any other major events that you haven't gotten around to yet that you're hoping the opportunity?
Yeah, are you doing the Rumble? Can we go? Because I was
going to say Indianapolis.
I'm going to the Rumble in Indy because it's only like a 4.5-hour drive from where we live.
Yeah, it's in my neck of the woods.
Yeah, and now you're at least getting a Rumble, a SummerSlam, and a WrestleMania in Indy over the next however many, next 2 or 3 years, however they swing that. So you'll have multiple opportunities to go do some fun stuff not too far away from you. So that'll be a lot of fun.
And we went to Survivor Series in Chicago.
Oh, very good. Very good. That was the
CM
CM Punk return. You were there for the CM Punk return, huh?
I missed out.
They pushed us into the back room where the scrum was before Punk came out. So we had the media people in the corner watching it on their phones being like, CM Punk just came out.
Losing their minds.
I remember seeing the PR guys in the back just grinning because they knew it was coming.
Of course.
Surprise reactions.
Yeah, they were like, we're going to get to see all these people's.
They had that little graphic end bubble, credit bubble up on that screen, what felt like
swindled us
5 minutes. And I was like, why isn't this ending? And then it happened. And I live in South Bend, it's like 2 hours out of Chicago. And I didn't go to his return at the United Center. And I didn't go to Survivor Series because it was Thanksgiving weekend and I work in a retail setting. So Black Friday is a big thing. And I was just like, I could try to swing it, but it's just, there's a lot of moving parts with family and all that. So I didn't go. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
From now on, I think it's just like, that's what I do. I'm going.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
We just ate Thanksgiving dinner and then right after left to drive to Chicago.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, dude. That's awesome. That is so cool, though. And shout out to your parents for being like super understanding and doing things like that and helping you chase your dream. If we could put them over for a minute, that is like, it's nothing's better than when you have a support system that's like, I may not understand this, but I'm going to let them just do their thing and be in their corner. That's so dope. Yeah. Now, JPJ alluded to it a little bit when we talked about events. Is there a certain city, place you would want to go that you haven't maybe ventured that far out, or you've got like a dream destination for like a WrestleMania in blank or whatever it may be?
Well, of course, I want to go to New York. It's been a height on my destination for a while. Yeah. I love seeing the big cities. Tokyo would be a really fun destination.
There you go.
I don't know if I want to go to Los Angeles. 30 some odd million people in a county seems like a little bit too much for me.
Yep. I would agree. I have never been to Los Angeles. I've heard it's dumpy. I've heard it's a little that's what I've heard from multiple people. I don't know. I will not judge until I go. I would go see a big wrestling show at the football stadium though, at SoFi. I would do that. I know Mania was there, but like if they were I would do that, but I've heard Los Angeles can be a tad scary from time to time. That's what I've heard. For me, you've never been to New York, huh?
No, I don't think I've ever been to New York.
That'll be a time. New York is massive.
I like the way you said. I think I've never been there. When it's like maybe you have,
I
you
don't
just don't
think I've
remember.
ever been there.
Well, maybe
No,
it was
I've never
before,
been.
he could remember, you never know.
You never know.
Um,
Yeah.
I think my parents went up there with my sister once to go see Niagara Falls, but I wasn't alive yet.
Fair. Yeah, New York is incredible. I know I speak a lot of ill will of New York on these airwaves, but that's really just out of sports fandom there. But New York City is
Have you ever been to Japan?
Yeah, have you ever
No.
been?
You're not shadow banned from there, are you, AJ?
No.
No, I've never traveled outside the country.
Yeah, I would. Japan would be fun. Japan would be a really, really cool place to go. I feel like it would be a lot. There's a lot of people, a lot of things going on. But Japan, I think, would be an incredible sight to see. Well, AEW not only, you mentioned earlier, Pluggo, they announced that they're going to be doing a massive show next year.
3, I think.
They said 3 shows in Australia?
I think they were talking 3 different locations, maybe for the Collisions Dynamite, but maybe they're doing like a whole run. But yeah,
Like a whole run in Australia.
Yeah, that's what I thought I saw. I could be wrong, but yeah,
Yeah.
AEW is doing stadium shows over there. The international crowds are always killer, so I'm super excited for that. Cleveland was my big, that's as far as I've gone for a
Cleveland?
wrestling show. Yeah, at this point.
All right.
I try to stay as Midwest and Central as possible. I haven't really gone. I mean, I've gone to Florida and stuff on vacations and things like that, but I don't travel a ton, especially just me driving out there. That was long. I'm not a big city guy. I think I told you that when we were up there. I was like, I kind of go at my own little pace. I'm Midwest all the way through, where I'm just like, if I get there, I get there.
Yeah.
I don't have a hustle and bustle in me to be I just don't.
It's fair. It's fair. I'm jealous. I'm envious of that because I am hustle and bustle all the time.
I get there. I mean, obviously, I like to be on time and punctual, of course, but I'm not trying to beat anything. I'm just we'll be there. Don't worry. I ain't worried about it.
It's fair.
I like to just cruise.
It's fair.
It's
fair.
So AJ wants to go to Japan. Maybe he'll go to Logan Paul's wrestling debut in Japan. Maybe not.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows that? Who knows where the world's going to take us? We're getting close to the end here, man. It's crazy, right? You're a vet. Like I said earlier, 7 years in the game. You've done so much. You've done. I was looking through. I was for restart. I was like, damn, that's impressive. You should be proud of yourself.
Yeah, the resume is.
You're slumming it with guys like us.
It's true.
He's like, I'll do these guys' podcasts.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, for real. So obviously you're starting high school, and you said college is in the plans and stuff like that. What are some goals you have for yourself, as far as wrestling? Like Pluggo said, you're still super young, but you've already done so much. What are some? Do you have any short term
to get to the WWE?
Goals? Do you have anything in mind from strictly a wrestling media thing, goals that you are hoping to achieve as we kind of move forward here?
Well, one goal I have is to not get the population of Los Angeles County wrong. I said there was 30 some odd million. There's actually only 9.
No, I didn't blink an eye. I was like, that's.
I just went with it. I was like, he knows more than me. He's smarter than me, so I'm just gonna go with him. So,
I feel like getting into WWE is a pretty big goal as a backstage interviewer. But I feel like my biggest goal for this is to just turn it into a living that I enjoy.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, you're well on your way. You've had this established. Again, not many people get into it at your age and have maintained where you're going here. So that would be incredible if you can make it a living. I know that's been a goal for Pluggo and I too, and stuff like that. It's just very impressive. I know we're talking big about you. We're not trying to blow smoke or anything like that, but it's really we were doing some research for having you on, and we were both I'm 39, he's 38, right? So we're of an age, and we're looking at each other. We're like, man, this kid is not even half, he's still younger than half our age, and he's done so much more than we have in life. What is wrong with us? And that's how that was Pluggo and I's conversation. But no.
Well,
We
no, it was
appreciate
like,
you.
it
Yeah, go
was, yeah. I was to say, it was like meeting you at SummerSlam, meeting you in your mom at the junket. That's where we met you. And officially, like, we ended up in line, I think, together and just started talking. And I was just like, this guy gets it. His mom's super cool. I was like, we gotta do more stuff. I sprung the impromptu press box PLE post show on you while they all went down to the presser.
Incredible.
And I will say this, I was a lost, but after AJ and his mom left, I got lost in the bowels of Cleveland Browns Stadium.
I'm surprised you got out of there.
I'm surprised I didn't get thrown out.
He's like, I'm just walking around. I'm like, what do you mean you're just walking
I'm taking
around?
pictures. I'm like next to Cody Rhodes' tour bus. There's Nia and Tiffany Stratton just walking by me. We almost ran into each other. I'm
The
like, I
amount
don't
of security that
I
we
got
all had
past.
to pass to get into that arena, and then we had to walk through all those people in 1,000 degrees. I almost passed out twice. That's how
And
hot it was.
the security guards at the end of the event were like, "You've got a media pass. Go wherever
and
you
then
want."
you're just walking around the base wherever we were. Oh yeah, I just saw Nia Jackson, Tiffany. What do you mean?
There's Damian Priest and Drew
What do you
McIntyre.
mean?
Yeah,
I'm in the press conference. You're texting me a mile a minute going, I'm down here, I think. I'm just near you. I go, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Whenever we were going into the media box, we were some of the first people in line, so we got in there before some other people, I believe. Cody Rhodes was just walking through the garage we were passing through.
Really?
Oh,
We saw Seth Rollins same way when they were walking us through. We saw Seth Rollins, and he was wearing a suit at the time, but we saw him walk, and it was just like that. I just looked over to my left. I was like, "Oh, Seth Rollins, yeah, no biggie, just Seth Rollins right there. Let's keep walking." And then, we talked about it last week, but we had to walk through
that sea
so
of
many people to get to the elevator, and it was like, at one point, I was like, I don't think we're ever getting through. I don't think we're ever getting through. We're gonna be stuck here this whole time. This is brutal. But again, it was pretty good. Once we got up to the press box and everything was more aired out and good, it was really good. It was spread out. It was nice in there. They fed us well.
Yeah,
it was all.
Did you get some grub? You got some of the food?
Yeah,
they had good food. That mac and cheese was delicious.
I was disappointed I didn't get a hot dog because they put them away by the time I went back to grab a dog.
The lemon cookies. The lemon cookies. If you were lucky enough to get, there were a few of us on the Twitter machine talking about the lemon cookies. If you were lucky enough to get the
had a few. They were good.
Incredible. Oh, I've still been thinking about them. Oh, they were so good. You mentioned the junket, Pluggo. So AJ, who did you get access to or to interview at your time at the junket on Friday?
So I got an interview with Rhea, DIY, and Baron Corbin.
Nice.
Baron Corbin was awesome.
Yeah, I remember you saying you lost the audio for that.
We
interview.
did. We did. So we had a great 3.5-4 minute interview with Corbin. He
so good.
Nuzzled our beards, and it was
good.
It was just a really, really good interview.
We felt because we finally hit our stride. We're we got this.
It was our second one of the day. We did Bailey first, and then we did Bailey first, and then we did Gunther because Gunther. Shockingly enough, we waited in line for it was almost like an hour or so before we finished with Bailey. So there was a good chunk of time we were in that first line. And then we were like, all right, Baron Corbin's line's a little less. Let's go try to chat with him. And then we'll kind of see where the lines are at and we'll try to, But we were walking by Gunther and literally he had no one in line. And I was like,
you guys were the only ones in line at the time.
Yeah, you were in line. And I was like, he has almost no one here. So we just did Gunther quickly. And then we went over to Baron Corbin. So we did that first interview. Then we go in the other side room for a second to grab a drink or something. And Pluggo's like, there's no audio on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And we played it back and there was no audio. And I was furious. I had to go walk. I had to go pace. I had to go pace walk. Because I was like, are you kidding me? That was the best one we did. That ruled. Damn it. But lucky enough, he was finishing up and
with
Pluggo
you guys,
and then I went over. He was finishing up with you guys, and then Pluggo went over there and was like, "Hey, man, our audio shit the bed on us. Can we just get 2 minutes?" And he looked at the PR guy and was like, "Hey, I'm doing a couple more minutes with these guys." And he actually did we gave us 6.5 minutes the second time. It was ridiculous. You got Rhea though. Rhea was the only one that we didn't get. The line was just way.
All I got was
long.
she waved at me like this, and I was as I was setting up, just taking pictures, and she like waved at me, and I was like, "That's awesome!" And then I shouted out my hairdresser.
Yeah,
that's it.
What did you get to ask Rhea Ripley?
I asked her about what she would say to Liv Morgan, and then I also asked her if she ever tries to whisper funny things in Dom's ear to get him to break character.
Oh,
So
that's good.
that interview's kind of outdated now, but
a little bit, yeah,
a little bit. But did she say yes? Did she say that she used to, like, or is it just a whole lot of nothing? Or
she said she whispers interesting things, but she will not say.
That's fair.
What they are.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, you're just like,
That's
I
fair.
don't, yeah.
Earmuffs are correct. But no, that was a really good experience. Especially that was the first time Pluggo and I got to do that together. That was the first time him and I met, was that weekend in person. So that was a big weekend for us, above even getting to meet you. We met a lot of great wrestling media people.
Yeah.
That was our first time as the Beards getting to do that. So it was really cool. We were glad to get you to come back on, or not come back on, but come on the show. It was kind of one of those things where when we met you, Pluggo was like, it was kind of one of those things we looked at each other like, yeah, we should definitely have him on the show. So
if he'll hang out with us.
Yeah. And like, honestly, like, I know we joked around about the age and stuff like that, but like the amount of things you've done and what you've done, like, even though Pluggo and I are, 20 something years older than you, like, you're someone who I admire the work you've done. Cause I think about this and I go, okay, I'm 38. When I was 7, I don't even remember if I could talk. I assume I could. That's so far ago. Like, I don't even know what I could do.
Yeah.
At 7? What was I doing at 7? I wasn't interviewing Cody Rhodes at All In, let me tell you. Or I wasn't having a sit-down interview with Cody even before. No, that was not what I was doing. That was not what I was doing at all. So, just really, really cool stuff. And
you're welcome back anytime.
Absolutely.
Anytime you want. You don't even have to ask. You just say, hey, can I pop in? And you can pop in whenever you want. You have a home here.
Absolutely.
So that's a perfect segue to say we're getting close to time. It's been a blast. We've covered a lot. Why don't you tell our fans, maybe some new fans of yours now, where they can find you, what you got coming up, how they can get more AJ Awesome Show in their life?
So on Twitter, I am at AJ Awesome Show. YouTube, I am the AJ Awesome Show. I think I'm the AJ Awesome on Instagram and Threads. I have forgotten though because I have not seen my Instagram in a long time. So the best way to catch the new stuff I post is probably through Twitter and YouTube.
All right. Love it. So everybody go give him a follow. Yeah, we'll have him on the show again. Obviously, like Pluggo said, it's really an open door policy. Whenever you're down to hang and talk some wrestling, we will have you on because, very much so. Now, Pluggo, now you do our thing and you let the people know where they can find us, my man, before we get out of here. We got Scott in the chat real quick coming on saying, great job, AJ.
Great job, AJ.
Yeah.
AJ rules.
Absolutely.
So you can find us at B2Beards on all social media platforms. You name it, we're there. Super easy, very sync. Made it perfect. We got interviews up right now with DIY, Baron Corbin, not Rhea Ripley, sorry, Bailey, and Gunther, as we
Braun
said.
Breaker.
Braun Breaker, that was a good one too. So go check all that stuff out. Like I said, Saturday, West Edmonton Brawl is going down. Stay tuned to Love Wrestling CA for more information on that. Rob Van Dam's doing the meet and greet. You can find me at Pluggo _ on Twitter and then at Pluggo on everything else. Search his face. I'm right there. And you check out my interview with Gigi Ray right now. After the show, go check it out. She's fantastic. We talked about a bunch of stuff. As well as Saturday, noon, like I said earlier, I will be hanging out with the voice of LPW, Big Bad Boris, to preview that West Edmonton Brawl show like we do for 4 Exposure every month. Only we're going at a little different time, and Blair will be at Queen of the Indies, so he's going to have his hands full, so Boris is going to step in, and we're going to preview the stuff out of that thing.
Yeah. You can find me at JPJ Loves Gaming on all social media platforms, including Twitch, where I usually get my butt kicked in video games regularly. But it's fun and entertaining, they say.
AJ laughed.
That's what they say. That's what they tell me as I'm literally screaming into my microphone and monitor. But, you know, it's a fun time. Come watch me get angry all the time. Thursday nights here with my man Pluggo, the flagship here at Love Wrestling, Between Two Beards. That's where you can find me. You can also find me every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. on this very channel as well with my friend Drew Nicholas. On Tuesdays, we talk WWE on Firmly WWE. And on Thursdays, we talk all things AEW on Firmly AEW. So that's where you can find me. AJ, thank you again for joining us tonight. You are always welcome. Everyone in the chat, appreciate all the questions, appreciate all the comments, appreciate all the love. We love you right on back. And you know the drill, y'all. Until next time, say hi to Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Peace out.
Hey there, Pluggo and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. You know, get a grip. You have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you Two Beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves, or I'm gonna cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer gonna get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for being fans.